Our next guest is lucky to be alive. At age 20, he was hit head-on by a drunk driver, and he was declared dead for 6 minutes.
Oh, you take a look at these pictures, and my God, you can't even believe that you did survive, but he did. Hal Elrod survived, but his life actually took a turn for the worse 8 years after this accident. Hal is the author of The Miracle Morning, and he joins us now, very much alive and well, and we're happy to report that this story has a happy ending. But take us back to that day when I mean, my God, that was horrific.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can't imagine happening to you, and even when it does, you know, 6 days later, I came out of the coma after I'd been dead for 6 minutes. I had broken 11 bones. And I think my parents had the worst of it. I've got 2 little kids now, and now I realize that my mom and dad, seeing me as you saw in that picture, you know, they really had the worst of the experience, and I had to wake up and face my reality and make the best of it.
And doctors thought you'd be in the hospital for a year, but you were in there for 7 weeks.
7 weeks. They said I'd never walk again, and 3 weeks later, I took my first step. And they really couldn't even explain it. And I believe, you know, the power of positive thinking, the mind-body connection, I think there was a lot to that.
Well, it's nothing short of a miracle, really, when you think about it. But when when we mentioned that your life got even worse 8 years later, how?
Yeah. Well, I always say that I've had 2 rock bottoms in my life. The first was the obvious, the accident. Right. Well, 8 years later, the U.S. economy crashed, and like so many Americans, my business failed, and I lost over half my income, couldn't pay the bills, lost my house, and got deeply depressed.
Wow.
And the reason I say it was worse is when I came out of the coma, that really was rock bottom.
Yeah.
It was only going to get better from there, right? But when I was in my situation when the economy crashed, it was getting worse every day.
Right.
And I was getting more depressed, and I wasn't exercising, and I just didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. So it really was worse in that way.
But you dug yourself out of that hole, obviously, because now you're traveling across the country, talking to people and giving them inspiration in this book, The Miracle Morning.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us about that.
Well, that's how it turned around for me. I decided one day, a friend of mine actually advised me, he said, you need to exercise, Hal. If you want to turn your situation around, you got to get off the couch, get out there and get some blood flowing and oxygen flowing. Went for a run, had this revelation that I'm not dedicating time each day to learn and grow and become the person I need to be to change my life. And that next morning, woke up an hour earlier, and then I was hooked. Within 2 months of waking up earlier than I had to wake up, which is what most Americans do, they waste the morning, hit the snooze button, I had doubled my income and started training for an ultramarathon and really turned my life around so fast. I started calling my little morning routine The Miracle Morning, and that's what it became.
Okay, so let's help our viewers understand what this Miracle Morning is.
Yeah.
How can they do it?
Well, there's really 2 parts to it. I mean, I teach a real complex 6-step, simple but complex system for the morning, but there's really 2 parts. And the first part is becoming the person that you need to be to create what you want for your life. And then the other part is actually creating it. So waking up in the morning and doing what successful people do, which is when your willpower is the strongest, do some meditation, some visualization, some exercise, some reading, journaling, right? Focus the first half of your morning, the first 30 minutes on what you need to do to become that person. Then the next 30 minutes, actually write the book, start the business, train for the marathon.
So it's self-motivating, basically.
Yeah, and it's making sure that if you start your day motivated and on point and focused, you can't have a bad day, and you can do it every single day.
Have you always been this excited and energetic?
Am I?
No, I love it. No, it's contagious.
Yeah, no, yeah, kind of. I think it grows. I get more and more excited every day. Every day I wake up and work on something, and
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Well, I'll tell you what. The book is called The Miracle Morning.
Hal
Elrod, you're an inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor.
Keep spreading the word.
All right.
There you go.
We'll be right back.